y'all, we're Alec and Cindy, and we're sharing the journey. If you've been watching us for a while, you know that we have been living in our 2019 Tiffin motorhome for the past 5.5 years, and we work camp our way across the country. I can't believe that 2025 is about 6 weeks away, and so we have a lot of updating to do. We've got to talk about Cindy's hip and surgery and rehab and all that sort of stuff. When we last shared what we were doing, we had a job in Ohio that we would be leaving to go to. We've got an update on our job situation. If you've noticed that the 100 envelope challenge has been missing from the video lineup for the last couple of weeks, we'll discuss why that is. And then last, we are going to be changing up the format on the channel a little bit. Now today, we are headed to Myrtle Beach, and we are currently working in Sellers, South Carolina, which is about an hour and 25 minutes from the beach. And we thought, what better way to spend some time talking to y'all is while we're on a new road, looking at new stuff, and explaining our new life to y'all. Does that sound good, Cindy?
Yeah, I mean, this is a new road, although we've lived in South Carolina all our life. I don't think we've ever gone to Myrtle Beach this way, so.
And so we had, when we did our last long distance car video, was when we were talking about Camping World, and we had a lot of people going like, you don't need to be messing with the camera when you're driving, it's unsafe. So I've got a new GoPro dash mount that $9.95 we got it for, and so it's not a lot of money, and the GoPro is mounted to the dash. I guess it's the time of day. You'll see right through here there's a shadow, and that's because the sun is beaming in through the front windshield. It's a nice clear blue day, and I guess the roof line is casting a shadow, so we apologize for that. Now this video is going to be a little lengthy, so if there's a part, if you don't care about the hip, or if you don't care about the new job, or if you want to get
these little roadside stands.
I wish they weren't all closed.
I know.
Or if you want to get to all I care about is what we're going to be doing on the channel, then you can fast forward or whatever, but we hope you stay with us for the entire video, because we've got a lot going on in our lives.
Doesn't everybody?
Alright, so the first thing we want to talk about is Cindy's hip, possible operation that we talked about, her rehab, and all that stuff, because when we left Montana just a month and a half ago, we were planning on Cindy having hip operation when we got here, being out of commission for 3 months of rehab, her staying with her friend Susan out in another town to do her rehab for the next few weeks. And Cindy had her doctor's appointment this week. I did not go, I had to work. So Cindy, why don't you fill everybody in about your hip?
So I went to a new hip doctor because the one that did my first operation, hip replacement, no longer practices. So I went to my girlfriend Susan, had just had her hip done, so I went to her doctor in Greenville County.
And how far is that? How far is that from here?
It's about 3.5 hours. So I spent the night with her. She went to my doctor's appointment with me since Alec could not go. And they did x-rays, all of that. Come to find out, I do have arthritis and my left hip.
Is that your real hip or your fake hip?
My real hip.
Okay.
But it's not bad enough to warrant doing any surgery. My right hip is great because that's the one we replaced. But I have been having this pain kind of on the outside part of my leg, just below my hip.
That was keeping us from doing a bunch of hiking and that sort of stuff when we were in Montana, right?
Well, yeah, you were so nervous about me hiking. I could have done more, but you were so nervous about it because you thought it, well, we both thought it was my other hip and we didn't want to mess it up any worse. So what it ends up being is I'm not going to have hip surgery, which is good. I had heard the term bursitis before, but I didn't know exactly what it was. But evidently, in your body you have, and I think they call them bursa sacs.
Yes.
Or bursa.
That's what you told me on the phone.
And they think from my first hip surgery, which has been 7-8 years ago, that I have developed scar tissue and internal scar tissue, because on the outside of the skin it doesn't look like there's any scar tissue. But evidently I've formed scar tissue that is near the bursa that is rubbing and causing inflammation on the bone, at the bone. So they gave me some anti-inflammatory. They gave me some stretching exercises to do. So I think if we can keep the inflammation down, I'll be fine. Now, oh, and they did give me a cortisone shot.
Which only lasted,
Well,
when you came home, you were like Wonder Woman.
Awesome, which was awesome the first couple of days, okay? I don't know if my body, I don't know the word for it. Anyway, it only lasted for me about 2 or 3 days.
But when she came home after having that shot, she was like Wonder Woman.
See, I didn't notice that much difference. But anyway, I was pain-free. It was great. But you don't know if because I was pain-free, maybe I overdid or exerted or whatever. And I'm going to be honest, I'm going to have to go outside to do these stretches because I have to have a flat wall.
What stretches?
The stretches that he gave me to do, the exercise
Oh, the
stretches.
exercise stretches, okay. I didn't hear you say anything about that. Okay.
And because where there's a flat wall in the camper for me to lean up against, there's not enough room for me to do a stretch.
Can you use the outside of the camper?
So I'm going to have to do it outside the camper, or, you know, the side of the camper or something like that. But, yeah, so no surgery. This can be done, monitored and done at home. So that's great news.
So I was freaking out because I thought Cindy was going to go live with Susan in Greenville for 3 weeks, and the one night that she was gone, I was a nervous wreck. We really hardly ever spend any time apart, and
I think you were more of a nervous wreck because I don't normally drive.
yes,
And I was going 3.5 hours away, and he was nervous about me being by myself driving.
Yeah, that is one thing. That, yes, I'll agree to that. But so that's great news. So,
yes, 100%.
And I'll give you a spoiler alert. All the things we're talking about, I think, today are very good news and will have a long-term positive effect on our lives. Right? Well, we changed roads and it changed the shadowing in the car. So I think this is a better, this segment will be better, I think, because the only thing lit up is Cindy's shoulder. So the next thing that is a change from what we originally thought when we came down here is our job. Now, if y'all remember correctly, we had been hired at a KOA in Ohio on Buckeye Lake, and we were going up there to work with a manager we had worked before, and that the company that owns that KOA was talking to us about managing another park that they were going to buy. And we didn't know where that park was or anything about it, the size or anything. So we were just going to be working at Midpoint, where we are now, Midpoint I-95 RV Park, for roughly 4 to 6 months while Cindy was going through all this surgery, while we were closing down the storage locker, and while we were visiting our children. And there was a new manager that was supposed to come in a day or two behind us. Well, they never showed up. The owners of this park started calling them, and they quit responding, and so it was obvious that they weren't coming. Now, the owners were familiar with all our previous background work camping,
and we had met each one of them.
Right. Well, 2 out of the 3.
Yeah, and had spoken with them and actually worked on at the campground with them.
Yes.
And we knew one of the ladies that
manages the other part.
Runs the other part, and she was familiar with us and knew us. So
because we had met her several years prior when she was managing a different park.
Right.
And we used to stay there a lot, and we became friends with her. So the owners of the campground came to us and said, or asked if we were interested in managing.
We would be interested.
Midpoint. And we had told them that we already had a commitment, and we'd already made a commitment, and that we were already in talks with this other park.
Other company.
Yeah, and so we told them we'd have to think about it. So we called our friend that managed the other park and told her, that
she's a great friend. We did not want to leave her high and dry.
Yeah. So we talked with her and explained to her what was going on, and she actually thought it was a good opportunity. It was a nice park for us to get our feet wet and being general managers. It was under construction. We would be...
she said y'all would learn a lot there.
Yeah, we would learn a lot. And also, we had talked to her about how nice it was after dealing with the tragedy that we've been dealing with since February with our son, that it was nice to be around our children. We have 4 other adult children that live within an hour and a half of this park. And then we have one son who lives on the Gulf Coast in Louisiana. And I didn't know how much healing was going to occur by being around our family.
So every 3 3 or 4 weekends in a row.
Yeah.
We were like with our grown children at the storage unit
Going through
all
stuff.
day.
Yeah.
Going through stuff, moving stuff, just spending time together. Then we'd go grab a bite to eat. Some days we would go down midweek and have a bite to eat. And we've been really missing that.
Yeah. And it doesn't, that's not to say that we miss it enough where we're going to get off the road. We need to come home more, for sure.
Yes.
But I think that our situation has changed so much with Greg's passing that we need the
family time.
Yes, we need the family time. And so with Midpoint, the owners of Midpoint offering us this job, we thought it would be a good thing. We called Fred, which was our manager in Montana, and talked with him about it. We called Tamara, which is the manager in Ohio that we were going to work with, and talked with her about it. And the consensus was that this was a great opportunity. So we've decided, and we accepted the job last week as the managers of Midpoint RV Park and Sellers. And we've actually even had some viewers that live in the area, or some subscribers, and
yes.
one member, they've shown up. We loved seeing them. I would ask that if you plan on doing that, you give us some heads up.
Because we had one couple that came, and it was fabulous to get to see
They drove
them
8 hours.
and meet them, but
We already had plans.
I was working.
Yeah, we were working when they got there. Then we had plans the next day.
And I mean, not only, I'm talking about the other couple that just showed up on a whim.
Oh, yes.
They were just basically out doing a Sunday drive.
Yeah, they just were less than an hour away from the park.
They were like, oh, we'll just drop in and see if they're there. They knew it would be hit or miss. But we were actually busy at the park that day. And I was either on the phone doing reservations, or I was out escorting people, taking people to their sites and all that kind of stuff. So give us a heads up so we can
Our email
hopefully
is
make some time.
Our email list is in the About section, where you can email us and say, hey, we're thinking about stopping in on Tuesday the whatever, and we would love to see. Are y'all going to be in the park? Because we had one couple drove down from Virginia, enjoyed seeing them, but we already had plans with our kids out of the park. It was the last weekend that
I would have loved to have spent more time with them.
Yeah, they were a nice young couple, and
yes.
But we had one more weekend of work on our storage unit, and we had to get that closed down so we wouldn't be charged another monthly like $500 and something for the storage unit. And so they still had a good time in the area. We did get to hang out and talk one morning, and it would have been, we would like to have more advance notice so we can spend more time.
Yeah, so we can adjust our schedule if possible.
Yes. So far, no operation on Cindy's hip. We're all good. New job, new responsibilities. Get to see our kids, get experience. That's good. Then the next thing is the envelope challenge. With the envelope challenge, we originally started that process in Montana because we thought we were going to be out of work for 4 to 6 months. We were going to have extra doctor bills from Cindy's surgery, which she's not having, and that we were going to have to leave. We were going to have to get from Montana to South Carolina, which cost us close to $2 grand. And then we were going to have to live all season without a paycheck, because we were originally hired here to work 10 to 15 hours for our site a week. And then we were going to have to drive to Ohio, and then we were going to have to go 2 weeks once we got to Ohio before we got our first paycheck. So we worked real hard on saving money, and while I was doing the budget, and we were saving everything we could, and while we were doing our budgeting, I realized that we were going to be several $1,000s short on making it until we got our first paycheck in Ohio. And I was watching a channel called Grandma's Pocketbook. If you don't watch her, really interesting, nice lady, and she does a lot of savings type stuff on her channel. And I got the idea of doing the 100 envelope challenge, which is, if you complete the challenge, you will have saved $5,050. And so I started that challenge, and we asked, there were several ways that we were funding that challenge. We were funding it through our YouTube income, through our YouTube memberships, through Amazon affiliate sales, through Buy Me a Coffee, through selling stickers. And we were making good progress, really, until we got to South Carolina. And then we haven't had a paycheck. I think I've only done one update since we've been here, because there's really been not a lot of money coming in. I think I did it when we got our first YouTube monthly AdSense payment. And so Cindy and I started discussing it. We have, and I'll do a final video on that to show how much money we were able to save. And it's been mostly through the encouragement of our subscribers and viewers, through donations, through people watching our channel, and that sort of stuff. But I got so focused on filling the book up that I almost felt like I was doing too much reminding about the way that our viewers could help, especially since once we left Montana, we didn't have any other income. And we left there October.
But we had saved money. We had seriously saved money.
Yeah, we saved every penny we could, and we're still sitting good. But I was wanting to get the book finished because I knew the projected date for our savings to run out. And we left there October 1st, and today is November 18th. So it's been, right?
No. 24th.
November 24th. So realistically, it's been almost 2 months since we've received a paycheck. And so I was really starting to freak out about we're not putting much money in the book. We're not, I was used to saving. We were saving $750 roughly every paycheck, because we were not doing much there, because we knew we had this season of drought, so to speak, financially coming up.
Right.
And I started watching back on some of those last videos when we were in Montana. We did an update or two while we were traveling, and we did one here, and I felt like I was so concerned about the money that I was reminding y'all too often about ways you could help. And so I quit doing them. It's been 2 weeks. I think I went 2 weeks without doing one. Then I did one when we got our YouTube AdSense money, and then I did another one after that. And I didn't feel good about it. And then we got, I started praying about it, and then everything started falling in place. We got this job where we're going to be making, a a decent paycheck. I don't think it's going to be quite what we were making in Montana, but it's a smaller check, a smaller park, and we'll be doing less. And it's going to give us a chance to be with our kids. And so I am going to do a final video on that, showing how much money that we were able to save and express the importance of savings. Because, I mean, y'all didn't see what we were doing behind the camera when we were working, and the money we were putting into our normal savings account to fund this season off. And now we're kind of ahead, because in 2 weeks we'll probably be getting a paycheck, and we're not going to have,
which was completely unexpected.
Yes. And so,
and my good news from the hip doctor was completely unexpected.
Right, we're not going to have those extra doctor bills and stuff. So
life changes, you know, circumstances change for everybody in their life.
So I don't feel good continuing to do the 100 envelope challenge on the channel.
But we're still going to be saving our money.
Right.
We're still behind the scenes.
Just like before.
Just like before. We're still going to be saving our money. I personally think Alec gets, I think, encouragement when he can fill an envelope in the 100 envelope challenge book.
Yeah.
And so behind the scenes, we're still going to be doing that.
Right.
And we totally appreciate everybody being supportive of us and supporting
100%.
us with everything that we do. And we just want to be forthcoming with everybody about what's going on in our life.
And it's not an emergency situation anymore. Like,
right.
I don't feel like, what are we going to do when we get to Ohio? We're going to be without a paycheck still.
Right.
Until, and how are we going to pay for it? All that's handled now. We're staying where we are for at least 12 to 18 months. And I don't feel like we need to continue airing that challenge, because I think it could be misleading to our subscribers.
Right, and we don't want to do that at all.
Right. So the last part of this video is format of the channel. Like, how are you going to be a travel video if you're not traveling, if you're going to be parked for 18 months? Well, that's a good question. So first, if you have any suggestions, what you want to see, put it down below. But if you saw last week, I started playing a little bit with an idea about doing a day in the life vlog. And I thought, starting January, that we would do those on Mondays. There's a lot of people that are interested in, what do you do for work camping? What do you do when you stay in an area? So it will be a day in the life, and it will be what we're doing at our job that day. Or, hey, we took today off, like today, we're going to the beach. We had no arrivals today at the campground. We only had a couple departures. We've got a part-time work camper there that is just working off kind of like we were doing for a little bit of their site. They're going to be on the park today. They can call us if there's a problem, and we can check on the computer. Cindy brought the laptop with her.
And I've got the work phone.
Yep, and if there's an arrival or a reservation needs to be made, we can do that from Myrtle Beach. So we're gonna do those on Mondays. Possibly everything subject to change, as you can tell, the whole reason for this video. On Wednesdays and Thursdays, or Wednesdays or Thursdays, we're either going to do some sort of product review. We've got so many things that we've bought over the last few years that have helped our RV life and have been worthless to our RV life. So I thought we would go do maybe a short video on Wednesday or Thursday, kind of like I just bought Cindy and I both a pair of over-the-ear earbuds, because the earbuds that go in the ears hurt my ears and I don't like them. So I tried something new. I liked them so much I bought Cindy a pair. And so we'll probably do like a video on the new earbuds, and it'll be a short video. And then on Fridays, we're on week 20 of Fat to Fit. I want to keep that through the 52 videos that we talked about, because even though they don't get a lot of views, it really keeps me on track with my diet. And then on Saturday, which is when more people are watching YouTube, then we'll do some sort of RV content. Like today when we go to the beach, I'll probably film a video about Myrtle Beach. And that will probably be this Thursday's video. So you'll see the same clothes in this video and the next video. But so we'll do some sort of travel RV content, like you know, going through some of the interesting small towns that are around us. If something breaks on the RV, how we fix it. You know, what to do when you're stationary. You know, please put in the comments some stuff you would like for us to do, and if it's something appropriate.
And we're planning on quite a few bike adventures.
Yeah, we've got the 2 e-bikes, which we are loving, our Hitway e-bikes, and I am going to use some YouTube money that we haven't spent, that I'd earmarked for living expenses. Now that we've got a paying job, I think I'm gonna buy a bike rack for the back of the Jeep with the YouTube money. And there's several like old train rails and stuff that have turned into bike paths. There's biking through different communities. When we go down to Hilton Head and see my parents, we can go biking around Hilton Head. So we'll still be traveling and doing stuff like that. We're just not going to be moving the RV as much. I have talked to the owners about us taking a 2-week vacation or 2 1-week vacations, paid or unpaid. We haven't gotten that far. Every year, you know, this year while we're here for 2025. And so, of course, we would be taking the RV for that. So there will be some RV stuff. So the channel's going to change, but we're excited about where we are in our life. And I'm excited about just the healing that I see coming from spending time with our family. We went down and spent, on the way here, we stopped in Hilton Head or Bluffton for 4 days and saw my sister and my parents. We're going down Thanksgiving to my sister's house. We'll have Thanksgiving with my parents and my sister and her kids. We're going to dinner with our kids the night you see this.
Okay, we're one of the strange, well, I shouldn't say strange. I decided a long time ago, when my children started getting older and started having significant others, that there were 2 families involved. I encouraged my family to have an early Thanksgiving
with us,
or an early Christmas or late Christmas with us, and then they could spend the day of Thanksgiving with their significant other's family.
Being that we have 4 sons and 2 daughters, usually the sons go to their wife's family or their girlfriend's family, or wherever the girl is, the guy's gonna follow, right? And then so
but I didn't want my children to have to choose. I know some families say, oh, well, we're going to go to, let's use Alec and I as an example, but it's never worked this way. We'll go to my family's for Thanksgiving, and then we'll go to your family's for Christmas.
Right.
I didn't want my children to have to choose like that. So I've always been willing to do a holiday get-together on another day.
Right.
to me, it's not about the day.
It's about the family.
It's about us getting together as a family and spending time together.
So Monday, the day you see this, that would be the 21st, right? The 25th, the 20-something.
The 25th.
The 25th, we're doing Thanksgiving with 4 of our children. Like I said, our other
and my brother.
And your brother. And then on Thanksgiving Day, we're going to my parents' house in the lower part of the state. It's about a 3-hour drive. And we're going to go down, spend the night, and come back. Somebody's going to watch the park for us, and we'll be good to go. So I'll probably let you meet my family if they're willing to go on camera.
I already know that there are some of our children.
No. I'm talking about.
I know you're talking about your family, but I'm just making a statement.
Okay.
So bear with me. I already know that there's some of our children who are not comfortable being on camera. That's perfectly fine. That's their right. I have no judgment.
Yeah, we're not
that.
taking the camera tomorrow.
But if we're going to spend the day with some of our kids, we might do a video that we're headed to spend the day and may do a few clips of Alec and I, or on the beach or whatever, that sort of thing. We'll share that. We just won't share pictures and tell you about how much fun we're having. And we won't necessarily share pictures of them. Well, the same goes for your family. We haven't asked them specifically, but they may not be comfortable with it, and that's fine. It's just, we try to keep it about us and what we're doing, and we don't want to invade on anyone's privacy.
So 2025 is a year of change.
Yes.
And it sounds like it's going to be positive change.
So far, so good.
And we hope you stick with us, and let me know how you like if you haven't seen the video yet, I may link it, I may put it at the end of the screen where it comes up, suggestions. I may put that video as the suggested video, because you can do that. You can either let YouTube make the choice, or you can make the choice. And go back and watch that format and let me know if you think that. I had a lot of fun making it, but the end result is if y'all like it or not. So this video has gone way too long. There was a lot of stuff that we wanted to tell you about. Leaving your comments, any suggestions, and if you made it this far, thank you very much, and please don't forget to give us a thumbs up, to like, subscribe, and share. It really helps the channel. For some reason right now YouTube has really been suppressing the channel, and our views are way down. Could be we've gotten boring. I don't know. So anyway, until next time, safe traveling, and thank you for coming along with us as we drive to